First of all, I just wanted to say thank you for coming. We are going to be teaching Geocaching 101. This is my husband Jonathan and I'm Teresa, and we go by Fishing Kitty. One of the things, I know, one of the things is that he likes fishing and I like kitty cats, and so we had two separate accounts, but when we went premium, which means you can find more caches that are out there because they are based on premium, then we decided to combine names and go under as a team, which some people do. They do it as a whole family. We have some that have like 5 of them in the family, and they all undergo under the same name.
You might have to define geocaching to some of us.
We are. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Geocaching, Geocache. Geocache.
Can anybody tell me what geocaching is? Anybody know?
It's like a treasure hunt.
We just
Treasure
think it's an
hunt?
electronic treasure hunt, yeah.
Yes.
Using GPS coordinates and stuff.
Using GPS coordinates, yes. Basically, if you broke down the words geocaching, geo means earth. You're using the earth to hide. It does not mean to dig in the ground and bury it. That is not, that's one of the rules that you can't do in geocaching. Actually, it's against the rules. There are guidelines. If you go to geocaching.com, they have guidelines on how to place out caches and rules and guidelines. So it helps y'all know what the rules are and what people can and cannot do. When we first started geocaching, what did we put in our truck?
Oh yeah, we went and we thought we didn't know any better. We grabbed a shovel, threw it in the back of the truck.
Put a shovel,
Thought
we
we were gonna have to
did
go.
step ladders, we did.
Tools of the trade you thought would work, huh?
Yeah.
We didn't have a clue. We were just kind of out there.
And we were actually using the map app. We did not realize there is a app out there, geocaching.com, through Groundspeak. There's several different apps. That's the main one. And we were just using our maps for like driving. The coordinates are not very good. They can have you off 200 and some odd feet up to almost 1/10 of a mile away. So don't use your maps app. Get the other free cheap app. That's a biggie.
There is a $10 app, but yeah, it's.
And that's what we use is the $10 app, because then you can go in and search for specific sizes of caches and different stuff like that.
But it's only a one-time fee too, so you don't have to
Right.
keep paying for
And
it.
right now it sounds like they're doing a new app, so I would suggest not getting the $10 app right now, because we just found out yesterday that they are upping one probably in the next couple of months. So, originally, this started back in 2000, thanks to Bill Clinton. It's one of the few things I can think and appreciate for Bill Clinton. Yes, because he allowed GPS to become public. This started back in May of 2000. Originally, it was called the Great American GPS Stash. When you think of stash, that's not a good word. So that changed pretty quickly. But it started in Oregon and has went worldwide. We have 2.6
million.
2.6 million across the world. I think the only country that we found that doesn't have it is North Korea. Every other country, every other state has it.
Trying to do other things.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Germany is a very big, populous. They are going to hope for it, even more so even than the United States, which I'm shocked.
Yeah, they're smart people. They got leisure time. They probably got some excess cash.
And some of the ones that we went over there, I mean, when you can translate to what they have written, because you can translate it into English, trying to understand some of their nuances, however you say that. It was a bit difficult because I was trying to get into some of the other caches that they have over there, different types, and trying to figure out what they mean by this and that, and it's very different. So, first of all, we want to go through. There are different types of caches. There are different sizes. Do you want to go through the different kinds?
I'll go with the different sizes.
Different sizes. Okay.
The first, you have one size bigger than this, which would be considered, they call it a 5-gallon bucket size. Anything the size, 5-gallon bucket.
Or larger would be considered a large.
And then this is the ammo can, which these are considered a regular size. And then this would be considered like a small, this size of container.
When you consider it small, you can put a log sheet and you can put some of the trade items in.
Yes.
Once you can start putting trade items in, it's considered a small instead of what we would consider a micro.
And this is kind of like what you would find in there sometimes, a log sheet, different swag, what they call swag, which is trade items. You have to trade something of equal or greater value. You can trade for the items in there. And then here's another small pair. This is called a decon. Find these. Now this would be considered a micro size start. This is what they call a pre-form or a soda tube. This is what the soda, when you get like your 20 ounce or the bigger ones, depends. This is probably a 20 ounce. They start out this size and they blow them up with air, and that's what your soda is. This container's real tough and durable too. It's glass.
So they'll withstand the weather and stuff while
Yes.
they're out there for very long.
Most
really-
of them are clear.
Yeah, we just paint them.
We just paint them up.
So it doesn't show up.
So, yeah, you're trying to hide these, right?
Yes, you were trying to hide these using them,
And not someone else pick them up for trash, you know?
right.
Yeah.
Question.
What we find, do we keep?
No. That is one of the things, is when you go out and you go and find them, all you do is you write your name on the log sheet, and if it has big enough for you to trade out items, you can trade out items, but then you put it back exactly the way you found it
For the next person.
for the next person, because some of them are going to be very difficult. So you leave the container there. Definitely don't pick it up and take it and move it somewhere else. Leave it right there.
Leave it like you found it, basically.
Yes.
So the challenge is in finding it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes leading up to, I mean, sometimes geocaching will bring you to a neat little area like a waterfall or something really neat that you would never found. But then the geocache, and it's not just about signing the log, what you just walked and saw. And it's just the experience, really.
The experience and the adventure to it.
Adventure, yeah.
One of the ones that I like telling of an adventure story is that there in Wichita Falls was what we call a virtual. You went up and you had to answer some questions, and there was no physical log sheet.
Is there a
And so
person?
you do what?
Who'd you answer the questions to?
It sent the email to
You emailed
the
it,
owner and give them the answers, and then you can log it as that you found it. We'll go into different types in just a minute. But going over there, I dropped my husband off and I went to go look for a parking spot. Now this was at night. It had just rained like probably 2 inches. And there was a break in the weather, and so we went out. And he went after it, he went down, was answering the questions and stuff. Well, I parked the car and I'm coming down. Well, there was 2 different trails. I didn't see the bottom trail, I took the upper trail, and then I was looking at the waterfall, because it's a gorgeous waterfall. And I looked down and I realized Jonathan's down there. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just go down the hill. Anyway, took off 2 steps, another 10, 15 feet. Mud everywhere. My phone went flying another 5 feet down. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just stand up and walk to it. Yeah, no. I hands and knees the next 5 feet, grab my phone, try to turn it up here, clean my phone off, put it in my pocket. And I screamed when I'd fallen, and Jonathan didn't see me, so he looks up, and he's looking all around, and he can't see me, and I'm like, Jonathan, Jonathan, and finally he sees me, and he looks at me, and he gives me this weird look, like, and then he looks down, and I'm thinking, what are you looking at? So I'm looking off to the side, thinking somebody else is there, or something.
Something.
Anyway, I was like, I'm fine, you keep working. Well, then I, hands and knees, back up to the rock, finally can stand on my feet, go down below. What he looked at was, you are not allowed to walk on the grass sign. Well, there wasn't one at the top, so I didn't know that I could walk on it.
Looking at her, looking at the sign.
And it wasn't intentional.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's just some of the stories that you come across. Well, as soon as that happened, of course, I wrote a book on, well, I thought I'd write a book. I wrote the whole story of what happened that evening on that geocache once we logged it as found it.
Give them something to laugh
Because I was going to say, because as a CEO, when we put caches out, don't just say, oh, well, thank you for the cache, or tell us a little story. Like, oh, we came in from so-and-so, and we're here for the day or 2, and we're planning on doing this and this and this. Just give us a little story. Because that is the biggest rewards for a cache owner, is just give us a little bit of the story, not just say, thanks for the cache, because it's like, okay, okay, we put time and thought into this, give us something.
Yeah, like we're here from Europe or whatever. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
We were checking one of our caches up here to make sure that it was in okay condition, and we found a geocacher from Maine.
Mhm.
Got to meet her, got to talk to her, logged one of her trackables, and kept going.
I guess I could go into what
Well,
this
let's go
year.
to different sides,
Oh, we'll go
different types first.
Different types.
Okay, there are 11 different types.
I think, yeah.
11 different types. We have a traditional cache. Traditional cache would be an ammo can, any of the preforms, anything like that. All it is you'll get a little